Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast with your host, Lorna Poole, sharing the secrets to creating wealth, investing, and that all-important money mindset. To find out more and accelerate your journey to financial freedom, head on over to www.lornapoole.com to get started. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast. In 2012, Michal Stawicki read the book titled The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he started to turn his life around. In the next 8 years, he lost weight, broke over 200 personal fitness records, developed dozens of daily habits, doubled his income, started a book advertising business, liberated his wife from a day job, and published 17 books sharing how he achieved all of the above. He regularly blogs on expandbeyondyourself.com, and the story of his life transformed was featured in the re-release of The Slight Edge in 2013. He's here with us today chatting about money habits. How do we change our habits to get what we want in life? And it's obvious that Michal is quite an expert at this. So Michal, great to have you here.
Hi, Lorna. Thank you for having me.
Habits. Why are habits so important? Why does it make such a difference? And what was your life like before compared to where you are today?
Before, I was miserable and didn't really know the objective of my life. Everything was quite okay. I had okay life, okay health, nice family, good day job, and I was miserable in this, common rat race.
Yeah.
Also a bit overwrite because everything was okay, but nothing was great, really.
Yeah.
And reading The Slight Edge just gave me this perspective that success is a few simple disciplines repeated over time. So before I thought success is something, grand, so I cannot achieve it. But small things, repeating them daily, well, I could do that, I thought. And it appeared, yes, I could. So embracing this philosophy, I started plenty of daily habits because I wasted a lot of my time on, watching TV, fiction reading, playing computer games. So I just replaced those activities with really small habits because the biggest of them were like 10-minute one instance. Yeah, so not very time consuming or energy consuming.
So what kind of habits? I have two questions for you. First is, what kind of habits are you implementing? And the second thing, which we'll talk about maybe a little bit later, is a lot of us know what to do, but we don't do it. So what do you say to that?
Yeah. So I embrace plenty of habits from all areas of life, exactly as Jeff Olson, the author of The Slight Edge, recommended. Yeah. So a few habits for health, a few for relationships, and so on. A few examples. Or maybe I will use those which I keep to this moment. Like for my spiritual growth, I started studying the Bible 10 minutes a day. For my personal development, I started practicing speed reading for 10 minutes a day. For health, I already had a few habits because exactly the same year I read the book, I also decided to lose some weight. So I ate one raw vegetable or fruit every day, read labels on the products I bought. So as you can see, none of it is grand.
But it sounds like one of the key things you did is you made a decision that you could implement little habits every day.
Exactly.
And then they snowballed.
Yeah, and that's, to the question about how to stick with new habits.
Yeah.
First of all, I would say commit for at least 1 month. Like, this is a minimum. Research say that developing a new habit takes, in average, over 2 months. And in the extreme cases, it's almost a year. So, like, 1 month is absolute minimum, and repeating every day. And you would better like decide for 1 year, because then, only then, for those small habits, the compound effect can kick in and you can see the results. And when I started, I was like, I will try this approach. Yeah. So you may do the same. Yeah. I will try this approach, but to really try it, you need to perform every single day for quite a long period of time. Only then you can decide if it's working or not, if it's working for you or not, because it's not magic. It's not like you can exercise for a week and then all exercise is gone. Nope, it doesn't work that way. Yeah? So you need time. Really, time is the whole differentiator with habits. And when you instill good habits in you, they change you. Which is, by the way, like, it's coming from the etymology of the word, which I found studying for one of my books, because habit comes from the outfit of a monk, and it was his outfit denoted his whole life is dedicated to some specific religious order and to God. So his whole being, this one piece of cloth, reflected his whole being, and the word habit comes from this word, and it means exactly this. All philosophers are saying the same. Your habits constitute who you are.
Mm-hmm. And what about the money part, right? We're a money podcast as such, and I know that's not the most important thing. Health and exercise and all those things are so important, because your health is your wealth and so forth. But did you start the money habits the same time as you were doing all the other habits, or did the money part come after you start putting out the books or whatever? Like, what kind of starts the ball rolling on somebody? Somebody's listening to this. It's COVID-19. They're looking to people are losing jobs and stuff. They're looking to bring in money and change their life, or change other people's lives. Like, where would they start?
It's always good to start exactly where you are. All the habits I started, they were,
Did you start them all at once or one at a time? Because
I almost started them all at once. At least the first 15 were at once, and for each and every area of life Jeff recommended. One of them was finances, other was career. So for my career, I decided to study technical documentation for 10 minutes a day, because I had been working in IT. Mm-hmm. And for finances, I decided to it was like a month later, maybe two, when I read something. So let me think, that was the book Your Money, Your Life. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the author right now. And so, no, this book was about another habit which I started quite soon, which was tracking all expenses.
Yeah.
So I just use pen and paper and then put everything into Excel, and then started a draft of budget. That way, categorizing all my expenses. And this is very good, I would say, the best money habit to start with, because it first draw your attention, your subconscious attention to money, because every single time you spend your money, you need to register this expense, and it provides you data. Then you can like see where your money are going to and maybe cut something here or there. But the other habit was that I started saving like $60 a month when my salary came. First thing was just setting aside the $60 and that's it, which was like 2% of my income back then. So not a significant amount, but it really made all the difference.
You created a habit which created a shift. And this savings, was this going to investing? Was this going to setting up a business? What was your $60?
Well, it was rather like rainy day.
Yeah,
fund.
like emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because before my whole transformation, I had a good job. 3 kids, so and I was the sole breadwinner, so it wasn't easy. But still, my salary was quite hefty, and we saved some, but it was like a roller coaster. We saved 2% one month, 5% the other month. And on the third month, some big expense appeared, like buying a car or renovating something, and we were at zero again. So it was a mess.
Yeah, but, a lot of people start that way. But isn't it about the persistence? Like the desire to have something different, that we do get bumps along the way, but if we keep at it, or keep trying, keep getting back up on the horse as such, eventually all those little mini habits bring you to somewhere you've not been before.
Yes and no, because if you do it the way you said, so you reiterate what was wrong and trying to improve, that's a good way. But I was like doing all the same all the time. So this roller coaster was since I finished my university and started working full time. So it had been happening for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And so for me, the best habit was just setting aside those $60 first thing. So I just realized that I can, set aside some amount and live off the rest, because till that moment I was doing it the other way around. So I got my salary, pay bills, bought groceries and so on, and then at the end of the month I had some leftovers or not, and if I had them, I saved them. And buying yourself first is made such a huge. It was, the mindset shift for me. So the first month was really a big discovery. Okay, I set aside those $60, and at the end of the month I still had them, and after the month I had 120, and it like opened my mind to really doing more with my money. Tracking expenses also help a lot. I had a mentor who said that you cannot, pave your road to wealth by saving. But he's a multimillionaire, and for him it's like obvious that, he's an entrepreneur. He can get a new idea and start making money. For people like with close mindset, like I was, I speak about money mindset, starting something on my own was impossible goal, really. So I needed this opening just to expand my horizons, and then I could probe those different ways to make my money.
So what you're saying is right. So, like, the beginning, you're doing like money management. Okay, you're tracking your expenses, which is great because Then we can look at where we can cut our expenses so we can add more to paying ourselves first, which is a huge habit and a brilliant habit to start with. And I love the way you shared that, and the budget as well is a big thing. And I love the way you shared about, starting your emergency fund. And, even if it's only 2% you're putting away, it's creating that new habit. And where people get stuck, and you just sort of mentioned it there now, is perhaps they are starting to pay themselves first. They're tracking their expenses. They have their budget, but they still struggle. And I know like some financial teachers will tell you that the amount of money you have doesn't really matter, but a lot of people struggle to increase their income. So what would you say to them?
I would say all those habits
about acting on ideas, or so we manage our money the right way. Okay, so you are working in a job, now you're not working in a job, you have a business, is that correct? So how did you cross over that?
Yeah, that's correct. And I crossed over very, very slowly, which by the way is the majority of people do it that way. And despite, those shiny stories we hear in mass media or social media, it's still like 80% of people start something on the side, and then gradually they move toward this new venture. So I was working full-time for the next, I think, 4 years, and I started writing. And less than a year since I decided to change my life, I published my first book, then added more of them, and started creating this
streams of income.
This one stream from book royalties, then others coaching. Then I started my book advertising business on Amazon. So now I have several streams of income, and it was all gradually, and it was trial and error. I remember writing. That was my idea. I will write. I will be a writer. And then I started writing fiction in Polish. And my first short story, really, I published it in a literary forum, and people were like, it's kind of good, but, and I was like, yeah, they are right. I need years to work on my craft to really improve. So I decided, no, that's not the road. I started a few blogs. They failed. And finally, one of my friends mentioned that, well, the thing you wrote about personal mission statement, it's really good. You should write an ebook about this. And yeah, why not? And I started exploring what Amazon is about. Half a year before I've published my first book, I didn't even know that Amazon exists and self-publishing exists. So it's all very, very iterative. First is the idea, then you work on it, and then you are not a genius. You will fail probably for the first time or a few first times, but you need just to get up and keep going. Otherwise, it won't happen.
I love that. And I think another huge thing that you said is just start.
Absolutely.
Starting
Brian Tracy conducted a very wide research on successful businesses. And in the end, he concluded that successful businesses, they have two things in common. They start and they continue. That's all. So you need to start and continue.
I love Brian Tracy because, I read a lot of his material, and I love the way he simplifies everything. Some of his success habits, like doing the thing you should do when you should do it. It sounds so simplistic, but that's the reality. A lot of people are not, and success leaves clues. I love the way and the discipline, you can hear from speaking to you, that it's the discipline of doing those habits, because some people will listen to this and they'll go, yeah, I want to do what Michael does and I'll start my habits and I'll read that book, and then 2 days later they've stopped. And it really is those simple actions or mindset or disciplines, I don't know what the right word is for it, will make all the difference.
Amen. Jim Rohn said that the reward for the lack of discipline is a nice day on a beach, but the reward for discipline is owning the beach. So
I love that. That is class.
And if you have that in mind, then you can really put your nose into the grind and execute day by day by day by day. And one day you just look to the past and you see how much progress you made. Now every year, by the way, this is exactly 8th anniversary of reading The Slight Edge by me. So every year at that date, I publish a yearly report from what I achieved through the year. And every single time I'm so amazed that I achieved so much, but I don't do grand things. I just keep my habits going.
Yeah, amazing. Micah, great to speak to you. I'm honestly in wow of you, and this has been fab. What's from our conversation today, and somebody is really like blown away by this, what's that kind of one message you want to leave them with? And then just let us know, how can somebody get in contact with you?
So my message would be start and keep going, and to do those two things really in reality, not just in dreams. Keep things small, like my habits. None of them was bigger than 10 minutes a day. Really small things. You can just scale even smaller, because in the end, if you put consistent effort, you cannot fail, period. So start small and keep going. Well, if you type my name into Google, you will find me on Amazon, my blog, and I'm quite active on Quora.com. But my blog is expandbeyondyourself.com.
Great. And thank you for being here. And I know a lot of people will be checking that out. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hey everyone, remember to join us in the Private Financial Freedom Podcast Facebook group with me, your host, Lorna Poole. This is a safe haven of like-minded wealth-getting go-getters who, like you, are on their journey to creating financial freedom in their life. This is where you and I can get intimate. I can give you the support and guidance to go from where you are now to where you want to be, developing your wealth mindset and creating your financial freedom life. Join at www.facebook.com/groups The Financial Freedom Podcast. You will see the links to this on the website. It's in the show notes, or type it into the Facebook group. All you have to type in is Financial Freedom Podcast and you will see us there. Look forward to seeing you in the group. Take care. Thank you for joining us on the Financial Freedom Podcast to creating wealth, investing, and developing your money mindset. To get started today on your journey, head on over to www.lornapoole.com and grab your free course, 5 Steps to Breaking Free from Your Poverty Mindset and Accelerating Your Journey to Financial Freedom. See you there.